think after Lopas and Sati's session, I hope they have scared us enough. Okay, and it's like going to a
That's the whole
doctor.
idea.
It's like going to a doctor for a routine session, and he says, "I'm the only hope." There's a later side. Yes, we education industry we have been very slow in adopting the IT, and in this world, of unprecedented change in this VUCA uncertainty, pandemic really shook us off. I'm sure it is done for any other industry as well. But it really, we were lagging in terms of adoption of digital technologies. And suddenly we were supposed to work from home. All of our faculties and staff were supposed to work from home, and the students were supposed to learn from home. It's like classroom getting into the houses. So it's been, suddenly it came more as a lightning. It's more like a tsunami for us, and we had to really, really adopt fast. So, but nevertheless, yes, as you said, it's been a very good journey, and it's like, see, the whole our business landscape changed permanently. And I'm only saying education as an example. I'm sure it is happening for any other industry as well. The industry which were more traditional and manual had to switch suddenly to a IT ecosystem, and we did change. And yes, we accrued, to answer your question, we did get a lot of benefits here. Generalizing to any other industry, we as an education, we became contactless, remote interactions and engagements were happening. For an industry, it could be customers, and for us, it's between staff and the faculty and the customer, which is a student. Then extensive level of automations were happening, which made us independent or less dependence on the human availability, physical human availability. Then we were able to become more agile, secure. We were able to scale up our systems very easily. We were available anytime, anywhere. And nevertheless, we also had real-time visibility, okay, which is the real reason for adopting digitization. So it's like Lupa said, IT resilience was required for us for our business resilience. So for us to last, we had to, and it was very quick for us, and we really, who could do it could survive this, and who couldn't do, believe me, they are still struggling, okay. It again applies to any other industry. When I'm giving an example of an education industry. So what really happened was this digitalization we were able to do to meet the needs of the customer. We were able to get, like how you say, know your customer, know your students. So we were able to do that. We were able to adopt machine language more using chatbots or using virtual agents and recommendation engines. We were able to do that. We were able to collaborate using our APIs to integrate various programs. And we were able to use extensively advanced data sciences and artificial intelligences to understand the needs, the personalized, the individual needs of student learning expectations. So see, it's like there was a time when we used to look at the crystal ball, if you say, and see, okay, how will this whole technology lead to the future? And suddenly it was like we were into it, and we were seeing how as a part of, we were inside the crystal ball and seeing what's the future happening. So that's how we had to face it. And what I actually would like to say is, guys, you should have the digital as the first mindset. We should be digital first, has to get inside us. We should keep people at the center. Whatever we do, people have to be, whatever kind of adoption we do, however modern we go or however extensive, people has to be the core, training the people, making people understand, and also see how we can channelize, digitize all the channels, the whole things. So all the silos have to be digitized. We were seeing how Satish made his presentation, where he was trying to link all the silos. You know how he was able to convince us, saying that you know it should not work independently. It has to be unified, collaborated. So that's the whole transformations that have happened in our industry, of course, to a very large extent.
Absolutely, very fascinating and interesting to know. So I was quite amazed by when you said know your student, and the usage of AI in education is gaining traction. That's really nice to know. So as we say, customer experience is of great importance for enterprises. I guess student experience here, counts and counts. So great initiatives that you've taken, Dr. Sami. Now, with the usage of these new technologies coming into the system, we are also exposed to a lot many cyber attacks. What are those attack or threat vectors that worry you and you're concerned about?
Yeah, see, we know about the banking, we know about the industries, we heard enough. Same thing applies to our type of systems, where we have student data, we have content. Content is really huge. IP content is there. Then we have remote learning happening. We have loads and tons of recorded videos and recorded training sessions, and all are very important for us. So if anything happens to that and the whole system collapses, and believe me, it's like years of efforts and hardships comes into it, and suddenly if everything is gone, we are like on zero, okay? And to build that system again is not easy. So it's built over a period of time. So the whole thing again boils down to how secured we are as a cyber or a digitized organization. So if you ask how we could, or what are the ways that we could mitigate the cyber threats, in a nutshell, I can say we have to include the security, cyber security as a policy in our organization, which we were able to do. We should be able to dedicate certain amount of budget and resources for the network. The resources could be planned resources, where whether we need to go hybrid, we go to on cloud or on premise. At this juncture, if you see, it's more of cloud, because everyone is working from home or learning from home. We have to keep our response plans in place. If anything happens, yes, we heard enough about ransomware, but also if any attacks happen, how to respond? Do we have a plan in place? And if there is anything, if we feel that something is going to happen, if something is happening, how is our response to that security intact? So do we have that plan in place? So the rest very very important factor which we should not miss out is the regulation part. Okay, the regulatory. Okay, right now in India we are guided by Information Act of 2000, which is, right. But of course it has been amended over a period of time, and there is a new Personal Data Protection Act that is going to happen any time. There was already a joint parliament committee which has recommended, on par with any European or American policies of data protection, and it can happen anytime. But see, our students' data is there, lot of content is there, and coming to students' data, we have students from outside the country as well, from foreign countries who have very strict policies about their citizens' data, who is there in our campuses.
I was coming to that point, so what if that particular individual's data is hacked or breached?
That's the biggest scare.
That's a liability to the education system.
Exactly, So that's where is all the scare about. So we will be penalized more than India. Okay, it's not that India would happen, of course, 100%, but we are in a situation or a stage where others are here, and we have to protect that data, and anything happens to that data, we will be held responsible in those countries, you know. So all these have to be taken care as a policy, and yes, we have been proactive, and I have to speak to our co-city also further on this. But yes, all this is becoming a big challenge for in our industry because of the data that is available in our system.
Overall, as an education sector, do you think that a lot of efforts have been, given to the security piece? You touched upon creating policies, having solutions in place, but it's also essential to have the awareness within the stakeholders, more so the students' part. How are you, trying to address those areas?
That's very critical for us, how we educate or train our staff. But more than that, our concerns is of two elements. One is the talent and the skill gaps, okay, which is very, before I answer your question, is these two things. One is the skill gaps. Now, I can adopt very modern technologies, maybe modern apps, modern updated versions and all that. But do I have that skill set available with us? Okay, that's a very big concern for us, and that includes. I'm saying one is the usage of that technology, and another, yes, is the security of that technology. Okay, both are there is non-availability or little difficult for us to get. So we have to keep people in mind. That's why I said in the beginning, people should be the center of whatever we do. So I'll come to what we do in the next. So before I answer that, the next important thing is the change management. We have people, they know, they understand all this, but do they have the inclination to take this matter seriously? Okay, so can they, even in spite of we saying, are they tuned or self-motivated to understand what's the impact of any cyber attacks, or what's the impact of not understanding the system, not upgrading themselves? So in spite of all the trainings, so these are the two main challenges we have. But of course, on your question of how are we able to train, what are we going to do, is of course we have to train. Firstly, we have to train as an organization what is the security, what is cyber threat, how do we need to be secured, how can they report any suspicious matters that is happening. If at all they have clicked any phishing site and they have been spoofed by a website, and they have to be alert enough to report to us. This has to be trained to them. They should not take it very lightly, because the repercussions, the impact could be very high on the entire organization. So we understand. See, they also have to we have to make them understand that anything happens, like encryption happening, data stealing happening, and we are stalled. We have seen that in Toyota and Honda. It's a ransomware. They do it and they start asking for money thereafter. So it's one is the money, another is the production is stopped. All our data is gone, and it's stolen. So anything. See, now there's a new threat which is happening. I understand. There's I'm not able to recollect the name. They quote $100,000 if you want to get the data of your competitor. Okay, there's another, yeah. So you want to get, he's a competitor, you want to get the entire data, so you can actually go and employ them, and you pay this amount, and they're going to steal the data of your competitor and hand it over to you. Okay, that's another threat of ransomware that is happening. So we have seen that happening in many hundreds of cases. See, if you see the part of ransomware, I was seeing one survey by Cambridge University, who have done a survey. Before 2019, the cyber insurance claims for data, if I segment data exfiltration versus ransom or malware.